Want to welcome everybody to the PDR Workshop podcast. We have Dave O joining us as always, and we're going to talk about MTE Vegas. We had the pleasure of traveling there, getting a couple of days, I guess, off, I would say, and participating in the MTE, the first MTE on the West Coast. I think they're calling it like a West Coast, East Coast thing. So Dave, how did you like it? Just initial thoughts.
For me, I mean, I had a great time. Thank you for MTE for putting that on. I mean, I always have a great time at MTE. For me, kind of everyone asks what is your biggest thing, or what do you like the most for me? And I always say it's the networking, it's meeting everyone, it's talking to everyone. Sometimes you only have 5-10 minutes because you're in between, your room or going to the show or in between booths or something like that. But, thank you to all you guys who actually came up and introduced yourselves to us. Yeah. I know we really appreciate that. We kind of go back to the hotel room after and talk about how we interacted with some of you and how you interacted with us, and we love that stuff. So for me, I had a great time. I loved it.
Yeah, I think it was great. It was I've met a lot of people that honestly I didn't get a chance to meet because I thought everybody would come to the Florida one, but there is a lot of people that do not travel that distance, and
a lot of first timers,
right?
That's
and so that's what
we were seeing, a lot of first timers.
Yep.
Now this is my first Mobile Tech Expo. I'm loving it, having fun. They're meeting people. We're meeting people. We're seeing the new tools that have come out, or different versions of tools, updated versions. That's another benefit of going to Mobile Tech Expo. This one in particular was actually really cool because kind of right when you walked in, there was a full setup with about 4 or 5 cars,
and you could
try out some of the
Yep.
tools that you had bought, and there were some guys actually demonstrating some of their products there. So that was actually a really cool little spotlight area for PDR, which is really cool.
Now, what were your expectations going into this trip?
For me, I always have zero. I kind of like going into it that way. That's kind of the way I look at things. I have zero expectations. Mm-hmm. For me, I just like to bring my personality and just fun to the whole thing. Because I like to have fun and interact with people, have conversations, talk about what we love to do every single day without actually having to work on stuff. I know when we're talking to customers on the daily basis, we get very passionate about it, and we talk to them, with a lot of enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. And I try to bring that same thing to Mobile Tech Expo because it's either guys we're meeting for the first time, and I know they have that same enthusiasm as we do, and we're later into our careers, and then also for the guys who are still on the fence or learning, giving them some either support or some enthusiasm, say, hey man, keep going, stuff like that. You
can see the passion just in the entire facility that was there. Everybody there was just, I mean, even the it was just the ability to actually talk to guys that were actually doing the Dent Olympics. Every time when I go to Florida, it seems like there's distance. And now with Vegas, it was, when Zan was done, I was able to talk to Zan and actually kind of talk to him why he was working, even though, most of the guys have headphones and stuff. But then it just seems a little more personable, at least that, a little more, how should I put it? I think it was a smaller event, but it just seemed like it was more personable. Everybody.
I mean, to me, this one was, I think, I don't want to say it was mainly PDR focused, but there was a lot of PDR, a lot of dent removal
PDR
things
dominant,
going on, from the testing area to the trials to the tools themselves in the booth and the vendors. I think PDR kind of dominated the whole expo, which is awesome. That's what we love to see. And me personally, that's what I love to see as well. But going back to the expectations, that's why I have zero, because I know it was going to be our first one. It was going to be different, and there was going to be a lot of other guys in their first one, so I kind of had zero. I know what to expect from the other MTEs, which was pretty much the same thing that I got with this one, and for me, I was completely fulfilled with the conversations we had, the tools that I looked at, and I know that we came home and we ordered a couple ourselves. So for me, that was like the biggest thing, and the setup, like you said, with the dent trials was personal. That made it even more fun, a little more exciting to kind of really see how some of the guys in other areas or other markets are fixing things. Just other technicians and seeing their methods with the trials, and it being that intimate was
you can
super
see
cool.
what they're thinking almost because of the tool selection that they're using. You can see it. Now, there was a difference in the Dent Olympics this time around. They had 3 dents instead of just a one single dent.
Yeah.
And so they had a pretty sharp one in the middle of the door. They had one on the rail, and then they had one on the fender. And what did you think about that? I mean, I've interviewed a few guys. I think it was great. Honestly, it showed how efficient a PDR guy could actually be. So just, a lot of guys train for the Dent Olympics, and rightfully so. But with those 3 dents, you got to know exactly where your tools are. I mean, I was looking at Zan, and he didn't even look in his back pocket. Most of the time when he reached for a tool, he wasn't looking.
Yeah.
For
me, I like to see, I would like to consider myself a pretty fast technician with the repairs, as much as I take my time when I'm actually working in them, just thinking methodically. Mm-hmm. It was really cool to see the pace at which some of these guys worked. Some were very, I don't want to say slower pace, but just very in tune with the doors. It seemed like the doors were some tough dents this year on the doors.
Yeah, for sure.
Super deep. You can see them from a mile away, it seemed like. And so to be up close and really see how some of the techs working on these cars work and how they get certain damage up either very quick or what they're using. So, I mean, I really enjoyed watching that for a nice set of time, and it was cool because they had 90 minutes and it was different panels. So you got to not just see what tools they're using for doors. How do they glue pull? Are they using a mini lifter? Are they using a slide hammer? What tabs are they using? How fast are they pulling that?
It was nice.
Just to see the differences with other technicians. I love to see that type of stuff. I know we currently are still bouncing things off of each other in our daily careers. So to see another point of view for me is always very exciting.
And you have, hail guys, you had door ding guys, or route guys, or retail guys, whatever you want to call them. And it's just, like you said, to see that difference in the way they move and the way they set up their tools, even their toolbox. Yeah. Some of them set up full tables or their carts and just went to town. And that little preparation, I think, helped them out in the long run. At least that's the way I feel. So it just allows you to be comfortable in that environment that you shouldn't be really comfortable in, because you have 20 people looking at you, staring at you as you do a repair. I can only imagine the pressure that's on you during those Olympics. Now, new tools. We're going to quickly talk about some of the new tools you saw. If I can go first, I saw the Dentcraft new ratcheting handle. Thought that was pretty slick. Yeah. I got some image, and maybe you're seeing that right now. But yeah, that was a new addition. Dentcraft has some new tabs. This new kind of fender brace. It's kind of hard to explain, but hopefully I'll get one and do a video. And then the ratcheting hammer, I think, was pretty...
it the defender? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think it braces the fender. You just strap it, and then you can push on the fender without it kind of bowing out. Okay. Kind of like what you can do when you set up the dent dowel. Yeah. But it seems like it was a little easier. But because it's easier, I don't know if it can do everything that the dent dowel... Obviously, the dent dowel just looks more stable on that fender. But for a quick repair... It seems like the setup time would be like a minute for that little fender brace. I guess they're calling it edge of fender brace or whatever. But the ratcheting handles were very slick. And Dentcraft is known to be, provide quality tools and be inexpensive at the same time. So it was nice to see that they have a ratcheting hammer out. And I think their warranty, or at least they kind of, I don't think they speak on it, but they'll fix anything that breaks out there, from what I hear. So. Yeah.
For me, one of the little accessories that I know probably a lot of you guys either did pick up or are probably going to are the dead center crease tabs from Co.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of a must just after the new dead center tabs that they came out with. Mm-hmm. The crease tabs are going to be a must next to my black plagues that I currently use.
They've been changing the
Kiko's been really
the game on
focusing
tabs,
on the glue pulling.
Yeah.
Not that they haven't always, but I mean they're just, I think, really honing in. Even harder, it seems like this last year, 2 years, a couple of years. There's a big push and big strides in just what we were able to fix with glue pulling, and Kiko's kind of been at the forefront of that, which has been awesome. And then the second thing that I actually really enjoyed, and I heard a couple guys talking about it, and then actually going over and looking at it, was the fender tool from Ultra Dent.
Okay, I didn't see that.
It's this big, kind of like the Doodah, but they kind of have their own tool that they're using for it. It's just a big, nice fender tool. Really good leverage for some of these nasty fenders that I know we get sometimes crushed. And you just get really good leverage right off of the tire. It has it's kind of like that
like a doodah, like
the doodah, kind of like a Reaper, I guess, style, the way it looks, and it's for fenders. I mean, it looks
and that's the one
money.
That's the one that actually closes up, right?
Yes, I believe.
Because the doodah is just
collapse.
like
it's its own single bar and it's all just one piece,
right?
And then that one does actually fold, which I thought was actually really cool for someone who's come from that mobile setting, being in the cart. It doesn't take up too much space. I thought that was really nice to see, and probably something that I'm actually going to pick up within the next couple of weeks.
And I think Carbon Tech had this device where you actually can use the Carbon Tech rod and actually use it as a pulling mechanism on the fender. I'll probably be showing you some footage of that. But I thought that was pretty slick for the guys that already have the Carbon Tech hail rod. It's just finding different things to use. Kudos to Carbon Tech for, that rod is very expensive, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, whatever it may be. But if you can just add different things onto it and it becomes
more versatile.
Yeah, exactly. 3 tools in one. It's enticing me to, look at that. And that fact that it can collapse, be lightweight. I mean, we all know tools weigh down, the cart a lot. The steel and it being carbon fiber, it's the new age. I want to know if someone can come up with like a little thin 1/2 inch or 5/8 carbon fiber rod and see what that can do. Carbon Tech, hint, hint. If there's any, maybe if it's like steel lining, it might be maybe a lot lighter than the tools that we currently have. But we all know carbon fiber, you need to be a lot larger to get the same strength as steel, but you save on weight. Is there anything else that we saw? I think Magnatech mats, they have some new colors. I believe there was some new glue released out from Anson also. I didn't get a chance to stop by. Ultra, they were at Florida, but they were really showing their tail at Vegas. I mean, they had a nice setup, and it's good to see Ultra out there. James Lee had his new Hell Light out there. I don't know if you can you can purchase it. I actually saw a guy shipping it off, so it seems like you could have purchased it at that particular time. Anything else?
Mark from Blehm was there. Finally was able to meet
Mark. So that was great.
That was really cool. Kind of talked to him a little bit about the Blehm tools. I know I'm an advocate for them. They are actually a sponsor of our show, which is awesome.
Exactly.
But I mean, I think from the start of my career, I've always used a Blehm ratcheting handle, and it was awesome to see Mark. Thanks, for introducing yourself to myself and Chris, and
definitely.
Just talking to him about the future of Blehm and what tools and stuff like that. That was actually a really cool conversation.
They're growing from what I hear, and they're definitely supportive of the PDR industry. Just like I see a lot of these tool manufacturers are starting to get on the bandwagon. But he's kind of the OG. They're the OG of tools. So there's only a handful of those companies.
So and I kind of said PDR kind of showed out throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
detailing was there.
Yeah.
There was some interior stuff. The PDR really showed out there, but the other vendors were there as well. There was actually some. I don't know. I didn't actually grab. I have a photo of it. They were filming their own podcast, right there on the spot in a booth.
Yeah, that was
nice. Which is actually really cool.
And then Dent King, he had interviews going. So I head over to his YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure he'll be releasing those little mini.
Lee
mini.
And Jaime.
Yep. I'm pretty sure they'll be releasing videos of that. And we were blessed enough to be a part of those interviews. So head over to his YouTube channel and check that one out. And I'll hopefully try to post it on this channel here. And also Mobile Tech RX, pretty much I think one of the best PDR estimating and invoicing software. They came out with a new release. They changed the pricing structure a little bit, but it was to help with the analytics. And I dive deep in analytics, and you can pinpoint how much your average for fender, for hail, for a Toyota.
The new update.
It's
actually
insane.
One of our previous videos, just a couple back, they actually go over a lot of the new stuff in the release. I think this update is going to be huge for the back end of a PDR business.
Yeah.
Actually, any auto recon business. Mobile Tech RX should be in your system. One of your tools that you're using. This last update is going to allow owners and I think just people who are doing the back office stuff of the business to be really diving deep and to see where bottlenecks are within the company.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really, really cool update for Mobile Tech RX.
Yeah, and I think, if you're a solopreneur, maybe the analytics are not as useful, but I still think it is, just because of maybe if you do more Teslas or if you do more Toyotas, there may be a ability to offer more ads or start getting into that community. Or, we do a lot of Teslas, and what we started to realize was that we may be on the forums, our name may be ringing on the forums, which allowed us to just see who's talking about Dentless Touch. But because we have multiple technicians, I can actually see who likes to do hoods, what are they pricing the hoods when it comes to hail, are they even making money on the hoods?
Tailor your business.
Oh man, it's absolutely insane.
What is working, really see what's working and what's not, and it's just it's now just measured. How do I say that? There are just now things that you're able to measure within
that you wouldn't be able to
that you weren't able to do before.
Yep.
And you may not have known that these were maybe either causing, like I said, bottlenecks within the company, and allowed you, and I kind of say it, I think sometimes trim the fat.
Yeah.
Either with accounts or customers, your advertising expenses, just trimming that fat. Making your business run as efficiently as possible.
Because it is a business, right? And so that's what you have to do.
This application is now allowing you to take that business to the next level. So kudos to Mobile Tech RX on that. If you are looking for a little more information, one of our previous videos does have that info for you as well.
Yeah, and just quickly, I think if you go in there and you type in Dentless, it gives you like $100 off. So that coupon is still valid as far as I know. And I think... they came out with this new stuff with the analytics and stuff like that, but now with the backing that they have, if you're not on board with Mobile Tech RX, I can only imagine it getting more expensive because they're going to start rolling more features out. As far as I know, they've hired a ton of programmers now to really start creating new things like, I don't want to say anything. I don't know if they're even making it, but hopefully they're making, where you can do payments right from that, from the app. That would be absolutely, great. And then maybe some scheduling or some type of small CRM would be great.
Really making it a one-stop shop.
Yeah, one-stop,
one application that you need to pretty much run your whole automotive recon business.
Right. And so I support them. They're PDR guys. Mostly, John still pushes hail. I called him a couple of days after MTE, and all I heard was beating in the background. So I said, you still working? He said, yeah, I went to go help a buddy. So these guys are in the mix with us, and some of the, not necessarily complaints, but some of the things that we're requesting to update, they already know because they're using the app just as much as we are. So kudos to that whole team and their future and everything that's that's transpired from now and when they started, because you can just see the growth and what they've been able to accomplish. So that's it. I think that's our MTE recap. Thanks to everybody that's, like I said, approached us, talked to us, took pictures. I did a little selfie collage that I'm putting together, so thanks for everybody that participated in that. Video's still coming out if it isn't already, but yeah, I think we're gonna start doing that West and East Coast MTE, so it'd be twice a year.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. A lot of fun.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thinking. It's actually pretty good. I want to welcome everybody to the PDR Workshop podcast. Is that it?